Hello, this is Raina with Lylo Crafts, and today I am coming on with book page bows. Now, those are like two of my favorite things combined, book pages and bows. I think everything looks better with a bow. And so I'm going to show you these examples here. Then I'm going to show you how you can use them. I have a ton of examples. And then I'll show you how I made them if you want to make them at the end, okay? So here is one. Isn't that awesome? It's got book page. It has another different kind of pattern paper in the middle and book page on the end. And they are 3 layers. Can you see? There's 3 different layers on that. And then I wrap some twine on the middle. This one, I've got a sweet little deer. And this is just all book page and all cut the same length and just inked. And I use some tissue paper as backing, right? So this is kind of like a cluster in essence. This one has just a sweet little punched out piece of paper behind it. And I've got fabric on the inside of that. And this one also is 3 layers. Okay, this one right here, I've got, and I cut it with dovetails. Right? So isn't that fun? And I even dovetailed this burlap ribbon that I have behind it. I added a sweet little heart gemmy. And then because we are almost on Christmas in July, of course I had to make some little Christmas ornaments or Christmas embellishments. And so I've got this sweet little deer. This is a punched out doily. And it's got a little hint of pink on the inking. And then I have this sweet little deer, which has blue pattern paper in the middle to really help that pop just like that. Okay, so you're going, okay, well, that's fine, Raina, but what do you do with those? Okay, let me show you. So the first example I have here, since it's almost 4th of July, is this card front. Right, so I made 2 little bows. I put a doily, I inked around it, I've put blue, so I've got red, white, and blue. And then if you look real close, these are those little flower stamens. I thought they would kind of seem like fireworks shooting off from that. So I have that. They can be bag toppers. So look at this sweet one. I just tied it with embroidery floss on the middle. It's got a triple dovetail, and I added a piece of lace behind that to really help set that off. And I love the way that that turned out. Okay, I've got another bag right here, and it's got some beautiful little satin ribbon behind it. And I put it on an angle this way, and I just try to tie in those neutral colors together. I have this sweet tag. Look at this. I love the color of it. And I've used this is like a header of a paper scrap. And so from Maggie Holmes. So I've got a sweet little bow right there. And I put a little star on that. And it'd be great to add to a package, to Happy Mail, to your junk journal. Okay, I did a fabric flip. Yes, so I've got a sweet seersucker here. I've got a beautiful floral flannel, some see-through white on the top fabric. And then this one, I've got 3 layers, and I put a coordinating paper. I love to combine paper and fabric together now. And then I've got this little button, and I tied with some light blue embroidery floss on the middle. And so I have that sweet one right there. So it can be a header of a fabric flip. Okay, then I thought, you know what? Wouldn't this be cute? I've watched Roxy's Creations, and she's done small little fabric samples as on her journaling cards. And I thought, you know what? This is an alteration tag. This is the perfect time to add a swatch of fabric. And then that fabric helps tie together where the perforation is, so it won't come apart. I've got a sweet bow here, and I tied it with some brown and white little baker's twine, and then I glued 3 little buttons to go with the alteration card theme, and I love that one. I really do. Okay, then I've got this one right here, which is a bookmark, right, which you can have be a tag. And she's already got a sweet red bow. And so I did the bow. I made it smaller this time. I inked with just a little bit of red, and I added that little red flower to the top. And I think she is just the sweetest. I have one more bag, and this bag has just book page with a punch in the background. I've got book page in the foreground and just a little bit of jute right there to tie that little bag off. And then you can just add it to an embellishment, right? So I've got these sweet little flowers. I thought it'd be so cute as a tie on the flower. Like this would be awesome as a bag topper. It would be awesome on a tag. It would be awesome on a fabric flip. So anywhere in your junk journal, on a pocket, anywhere that you would like. Okay, and then I've got two last ones to share with you. I've got this one, which is kind of going in the Christmas in July theme. I've got sage green paper on the top this time with the book page below. I have a beautiful piece of lace that I folded over, and this is coffee dyed old project card. So I have that one, and then I couldn't do it without doing a library card. This I coffee dyed, and I have this beautiful piece of gray lace that I folded and glued over in place, and I topped it with, this is pattern paper again on the top this time, and book page behind, and tied with a bit of twine. So these are all different ways that you can use these little book page bows. I am in love with them. Clearly, I could not stop making them because I am trying to bust out the scraps and use up some of my book pages. So I have never seen anybody do this. I'm sure somebody maybe has, but it was so fun. It just occurred to me one day, and then I thought, you know what, I've got to try that. So just stick with me and I'll take you and show you how you can make these fun and versatile book page bows. I'd so appreciate it if you could give my video a thumbs up if you like this kind of thing, and subscribe to my channel would be awesome too. Okay, so let's make one together, and these are the simple supplies you're going to need. Just a pair of scissors and book pages, and if you wanted to make one that had like a different color on the inside, another piece of paper, and it needs to be really flexible, okay? And the same with the book pages. If you use book pages that are too brittle or too old, they will break when we try and squinch them up in the middle. So a little bit newer book page, and you need something to put on the center if you want. So that could be twine, which is what I'm going to use this time. I'm going to use some baker's twine, and then this cream colored twine. What's nice about having this on hand is you can run any color of ink over it and change the color, which I love, right? Because then you don't have to have so many different supplies, and it's a lot less money. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take 3 book pages, okay? 3 book pages, and you are going to just fold them in half. Okay, just like this. And what we are going to do is make our pattern. And it is so easy and it's so forgiving. Okay, so I am just cutting off this white part because I want the lettering to show on my little bow. And so what we're going to do is we're going to cut up a little bit, and then we're going to gently flare out. Okay, and then we're going to just come across the top. Okay, and then on the bottom down here, we are going to come up a little bit and then gently go across. So we can always adjust, which is what I love, okay? Oh, I love that shape. I love that shape. But if I didn't, you could fold it up and you can just make adjustments. Okay? So once you have got your pattern, okay, and you do need 3 pieces per layer, you're going to just take one of them and you're going to use this to mass cut your bows. So I'm going to do another one here. So I'm just going to follow my little pattern. Isn't that so awesome? We don't have to be perfect and keep cutting. And if you are mass making them, you would do all of your cuts. And okay, so we've got these 2. Okay, once you have your book pages, then what you're going to do is we're going to fold them into the shape of the bow. Okay, so once we've got our bow pieces, the first thing we're going to do, just kind of line them up, and then you're going to take the middle and you are just going to fold it in half and make a little crease in the middle. Okay, so it'll look like that. And then we're going to take one side and fold up. Okay, one side and fold up and crease that. Then you're going to take the other side, and it is slightly fiddly. So you're going to take this side and you're going to fold up towards the middle. And you can see this is why your book pages need to be fairly flexible in order to make that happen. Okay, so then you're going to get something that looks like this. Now, if you wanted to add a color in and you cut out a color, I'm going to put the pattern on the top, but you can put it in the middle. I really like the look of it in the middle as we saw before. Just as a reminder, looks like this with it in the middle, but I'm going to try it on the top this time. So I'm going to gather mine up, and it doesn't matter that they're the same size. I'm going to show you what we'll do with that in a minute. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold it in half, okay? And then I'm going to take one side up and fold it, okay? Then I'm going to take the other side up and fold it to the middle, okay? And I'm pinching together. Okay, so your bow should have both ends that kind of flap down like that. And if they don't, you can just manipulate them with your fingers into the shape that you want. Okay, so the next thing you're going to need is just a little bit of hot glue. Whoops, just a tiny dab on the insides. Okay, you don't need very much. And if you are like me, be careful, okay, because it is hot. And then we're going to squeeze them, all three, together until they set. So we're just going to hold that for a moment. And sometimes you may need to put a little hot glue on another layer. It just depends on how they stick on the top. So you can see right here, mine need a little bit on this layer. So I'm going to just go ahead and put that in. And I'm going to push this apart and add another tiny little dab in there. And then I'm going to squeeze it together. But this side, the bottom side, is sticking together just fine. Okay, so that's all you have to do for that. Okay, so we've got them both glued, and now we have options. So on this one, you can decide if you want this even a little bit shorter so it'll show more. You can do 3 layers like this one, 1, 2, 3. Or you can leave them all like this and then just ink them up. The top layer is a little bit shorter, but since it is a little shorter, let's try and go ahead and make the 3-layer one. So I'm just gonna eyeball and snip off just a little bit here, just off the edges. Then I'm gonna go down to the 2nd layer, and I'm just going to snip a tiny bit off the 2nd layer, just enough so you can see the bottom layer. So it looks like I need to cut this part just a bit here and a little bit more there. Okay, so now I'm going to go in here to the 2nd layer and snip. Okay, and it does not have to be perfect, you guys. What I love about crafting is, you know what? I think sometimes when it is not perfect, it lends itself to being handmade. And I like that. Okay, so on this one, let's go ahead and make a dovetail. And all you need to do is just cut at an angle from each side. And there you have it. Then we've got this sweet little dovetail. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and do that on this side and on this side. And now we've got our sweet dovetail. My next step is I like to ink, and especially to help highlight the other layers. I'm going to take this. It's called Peel Paint, my little distress ink, and I'm just going over the edges here. Now, you probably could ink ahead of time, but I just find it easy this way, and then I can just kind of do them all 3 at the same time. And so there you go. You can see that it really helps highlight those different layers. And then this one, you know what? I was going to do brown, but let's just see how this dark blue looks. Okay. And what I also love is there's no wrong, right? There's just no wrong. Okay, all right, there we go. So we've got those, and now we're gonna figure out what we want to do with these. I have this coffee dye library card. If you watch my channel, you know I've got a lot of these library cards. Okay, so what I did was I just hot glued on some lace, and I did it over the part that is thicker, right? So, and I like that it kind of flaps up a little bit, and I just folded it over onto the back if your lace is too tall. And so I think this would look really pretty with a navy blue center. So I don't have navy blue twine, but I have this cream twine. So what I'm going to do is wrap it around 3 times, just like that. I'm going to cut this back off, and I'm just going to add a bit of hot glue. You could ink your twine here before you apply it to your bow. That'd probably be more effective or more efficient. But since I didn't, I'm just going to put it on after. I'm just going to apply a little bit of blue to that. Oh, I love that. Isn't that amazing how you can just change the color of something that's neutral with just a hint of ink? I think that's so cool. Okay, and I'm just going to glue this on here. And because this lace is so pretty, I'm not going to put a center on. I really think this is enough and that it is beautiful like that. Oh, what a fun journal card, right? Or a tag. This next one, let's put on this. This is a vintage kind of project card, and I had a little bit of this lace left over, so I just cut one of the scallops off. Again, folded it in half and glued it in half. And this is sage green, and since it's almost Christmas in July, I thought, ooh, let's do red and green, right? How fun. So all I'm going to do is take this red and white baker's twine that I have, and I'm wrapping it around here. I just want to make sure that I'm covering up all the hot glue that might be showing. I'm going to just trim this off on the back and apply just a dab of hot glue for those ends to go in. Now be careful when you're doing this because you could burn yourself. Got that. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And put this one down right here. All right. You know what? I just want to scoot it up towards the top. So it's hanging off. Oh, I think that's so cute. Oh, I love that. I think it's going to be awesome inside of a pocket. Okay, so that is it. That is all there is to it. And there are a million variations, right, that you can do on this project. So I hope you'll try it. Let me know if you're going to try it. And also, I'd love to know how it turned out, too. So thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye-bye.